GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening, I'm Mark Beaumont. This evening we open with the 19th Montreal World Press Photo Exhibition at Bonsecours Market, and we'll hear about the Parti Québécois recruiting a new candidate in Pointe-aux-Trembles. Traffic's moving smoothly despite minor metro delays. Over to you, Emma.
The comedy show BACKROMS, starring Joe Cormier, kicks off tonight at the Gallery Foyle Drive-In, beginning at 8 o'clock for audiences.
Tickets are priced at $15 each. Available online and at the venue box office until Saturday night for everyone.
The show runs for 90 minutes, featuring a blend of observational humor and improvised sketches, with a brief intermission halfway through.
Lots to get to this evening, so let's begin our broadcast and bring you the stories that matter tonight right now. Here are our top stories. The 19th Montreal World Press Photo Exhibition opens at historic Bonsecours Market this week, showcasing award-winning press photography from around the globe. The show will run through the weekend. Colette Barbeau has the full story.
Inside the vaulted stone arches of Bonsecours Market, the latest Montreal World Press Photo Exhibition unfurls its walls with a fresh batch of international news images. This marks the 19th edition, kicking off this week, and the galleries are already buzzing with visitors tracing stories of conflict, climate, and culture through the lenses of award-winning photographers. Curator Matthew Ritz walks the aisles, pointing out a stark portrait from war-torn Ukraine and a vivid series on rising sea levels along the Atlantic coast. The market's historic ironwork frames the contemporary work, creating a dialogue between Old Montreal and the world's headlines. The show will run through the end of September, offering daily guided tour and a special evening preview for press members. Colette Barbeau, GMNA News, Bonsecours. The Parti Québécois announced today that it has recruited Stéphane Paquet, the chief executive of Montreal International, to run as its candidate in the Pointe-aux-Trembles riding. Party officials said the move is part of a broader effort to strengthen their economic team ahead of the upcoming provincial election. Paquet, who has overseen dozens of foreign direct investment projects and international trade initiatives from the downtown headquarters of Montreal International, will bring that experience to the campaign trail. The selection follows a recent string of high-profile appointments, as the party seeks fresh faces and expertise to broaden its appeal. Voters in Pointe-aux-Trembles can expect Paquet to focus on job creation, infrastructure investment, and fostering links between local businesses and global markets. The candidacy will be officially confirmed at the party's next nomination meeting.
Today, a 15-year-old boy was rushed to hospital after his moped collided with a vehicle in the Les Setters neighborhood. The crash left the teenager with serious injuries, according to the Sûreté du Québec, which responded to the scene and transported him to a regional medical center. Police said the impact occurred on a local road near the intersection of Boulevard des Setters and Rue de la Rivière, though exact location details remain under investigation. Residents nearby said they heard a loud impact and saw flashing lights as officers arrived on the scene. Officers are asking anyone who saw the accident or has dash camera footage to contact the Sûreté du Québec. The investigation will focus on determining fault and whether any traffic violations contributed to the collision. The teenager's condition is being monitored, and authorities will release updates as more information becomes available.
Quebec Minister Christine Fréchette is urging the province to adopt a strategic tariff countermeasure after former central bank Governor Mark Carney announced a dollar-for-dollar retaliation by the United States. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
Quebec's finance minister, Christine Fréchette, is pressing the provincial cabinet to launch a targeted tariff response to recent United States measures. She says the province should adopt a strategic counter-tariff that mirrors the dollar-for-dollar approach outlined by former Bank of Canada Governor Mark Carney. The U.S. has rolled out new duties that Quebec officials view as a direct retaliation, prompting heated debate inside the government about the scope and timing of any reciprocal action. Lawmakers are weighing the economic impact on local exporters while trying to send a clear signal that Quebec will not stand idle. The discussion continues as both sides assess the next steps. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Quebec.
Quebec's government announced today it will revive the financial assistance program first deployed during the COVID-19 pandemic to shore up provincial businesses. The measure, unveiled at a press conference in Quebec City, mirrors the emergency grants and loan guarantees that helped firms stay afloat amid the health crisis. Officials said the revived scheme aims to smooth the lingering effects of the pandemic, providing cash flow relief and low-interest financing to companies still grappling with reduced demand and supply chain disruptions. The province plans to allocate funds through the same application portal used in 2020, with eligibility criteria tied to revenue losses and employment retention. By echoing the earlier response, the government hopes to reinforce economic stability and keep enterprises viable as the region continues its post-pandemic recovery. The rollout is slated to begin within the next 2 weeks, giving firms immediate access to the support. Up next, a study shows Quebec's smallest firms face tax bills up to 5 times higher. After the break, we will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. Today, the Fédération des Chambres de l'Économie et de l'Industrie released a study that reveals Quebec's smallest businesses are shouldering tax bills up to 5 times greater than those faced by larger firms. The research, based on a comprehensive analysis of provincial tax data, shows that micro-enterprises and companies with fewer than 10 employees pay a disproportionate share of corporate levies, while mid-size and large corporations benefit from lower effective rates. Economists with the FCEI warn that the disparity could strain cash flow for owners already battling high operating costs and limited access to financing. The report calls for a review of the tax code to address the imbalance, suggesting that policymakers consider targeted relief measures for the most vulnerable segment of the province's economy. If left unchecked, the tax pressure could force closures and reduce job creation across neighborhoods.
Quebec's plan for a temporary supervised consumption site faces delays as community opposition grows, stalling the health authorities' harm reduction rollout. Colette Barbeau has the full story.
Officials from the City of Quebec and Provincial Public Health are pushing to open a temporary supervised consumption center, but community pushback is holding up the launch. Residents and local groups have voiced strong opposition, citing concerns about safety and neighborhood impact. The project, slated as a short-term harm reduction measure, remains in planning as authorities try to address the lack of social acceptance. Health officials point to a surge in overdose cases across the province as the driver behind the proposal, noting that similar sites have been rolled out elsewhere to curb fatalities. With dialogue stalled, the opening date remains uncertain, leaving the city without the intended safe space for people who use drugs. Colette Barbeau, GMNA News, Quebec. Marie Montpetit of the Fédération des Cégeps highlighted how Quebec's CEGEP system, created in 1967, mirrors Ireland's transition year program and philosophy. Both structures give teenagers a year to sample subjects, develop skills, and explore career ideas before selecting a definitive pathway. Montpetit noted that while Quebec's CEGEPs combine pre-university and technical streams within a 2-year post-secondary framework, Ireland's transition year sits within secondary school and focuses on experiential projects, community service, and work placements. She added that the Quebec model emphasizes academic preparation for university alongside vocational options, whereas the Irish approach leans toward broad personal development without formal credit. The comparison underscores a shared belief that early exposure to diverse fields helps young people make more informed choices about their future studies. Educators in both regions see the flexibility as a way to reduce early specialization pressure.
Training sessions are underway across the city to help local merchants, municipal employees, and emergency responders better understand dementia and adjust their services. The initiative, launched early this morning, brings together shop owners, city staff, and first responders with people living with dementia for hands-on workshops and informational briefings. Participants learn practical communication techniques, Signage cues and safety procedures designed to reduce confusion and improve interactions in shops, public offices, and during emergency calls. City officials say the program is part of a broader effort to create a dementia-friendly environment, ensuring everyday tasks from buying groceries to receiving medical assistance are more accessible. Ongoing classes will continue through the coming weeks, with additional sessions planned for neighborhoods throughout the island. Organizers hope the training will foster more inclusive experiences for residents affected by the condition.
Montreal's blue-collar workforce has been operating without a valid collective bargaining agreement since the contract expired in December 2024, prompting complaints and expert analysis. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
Workers at a downtown construction site gathered this morning, their helmets glinting under the winter sky, still without a signed collective agreement. The last contract lapsed in December, leaving the city's blue-collar labor force without a legally binding deal. Union representatives voiced frustration, saying crews are forced to rely on expired provisions for wages and safety rules. Labor economists on the phone warned that the gap could erode bargaining power and complicate scheduling for contractors. Employers reported trying to keep projects on track, but many crews are hesitant to log overtime without clear terms. Negotiations remain stalled, and both sides say a new pact could take weeks. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Montreal.
Now let's turn to your evening forecast with our meteorologist, keeping you ahead of the night.
A low-pressure trough lifts, feeding moist southerly flow that fuels tonight's overcast spell across Montreal. On this date, the city once baked to 31.1 degrees Celsius in 2021, a record set during an unprecedented heat wave that pushed daily highs into the mid-30s across southern Quebec. Conversely, the coldest August 23rd fell to 11.6 degrees Celsius in 2018, when an early Arctic dip slammed a polar front into the St. Lawrence Basin, delivering a sharp chill. Normal climate for late August hovers around 24 degrees high and 15 degrees low, so both extremes sit well outside the climatological range. The live radar shows a band of precipitation hugging the south shore, centered just east of the Richelieu River. The system moves northwest, steered by the southerly jet stream, and will brush the island within 10 minutes. By about 8 o'clock, the echoes fade as drier air pushes in from the north, leaving a clear sky over downtown. With the rain now past, I turn to tonight's outlook. At 6 p.m., Montreal lies under an overcast, temperature 23 degrees Celsius, humidity 70%, and a southeast wind 15 kilometers per hour gusting to 30. Low pressure is rising, pulling a moist air mass that the southerly jet stream at 560 kilometers per hour is transporting across the region. The jet's tilt in the upper trough keeps the cloud deck in place while preventing deep lift, so the showers seen on radar have already passed and none are expected this evening. The UV index is 5. Winds stay below 25 kilometers per hour, so no gust advisory. A severe thunderstorm warning remains active for the Valleyfield-Beauharnois-Huntingdon area. Residents should follow local updates. Clouds will hold steady as temperatures fall to 19 degrees by 7 o'clock, and into the mid-teens overnight as the low drifts east. Monday begins with a high of 21 and a low of 15 under overcast, as the low-pressure system continues its slow eastward drift. Tuesday warms to a high of 23 with a low of 16. A clearing sky develops midday, but a 35% chance of rain lingers in the afternoon, reflecting lingering moisture from the jet stream. Wednesday offers sunshine, high 24, low 17, as high pressure builds aloft and the jet shifts north. Thursday swings back to a high of 27 and a low of 18, with overcast conditions and a 50% rain probability as a new trough approaches. Friday returns to clear skies, high 24, low 16, as the ridge reasserts itself. The temperature swing from mid-20s to the low teens highlights the upper-level pattern this week. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Up next, traffic updates, the comedy show BACKROMS at Gallery Foyle, and Good Food's creditor protection filing. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. The biggest slowdown right now is a westbound blockage in Tunnel Viger between Rue Panet and the Robert Bourassa exit. Traffic is backed up for several kilometers, and drivers should look for alternate routes across the island. On the east side, Tunnel Ville Marie eastbound between Boulevards Robert Bourassa and St. Laurent is also under a major hindrance, creating similar delays. Autoroute 40 sees two major lane reductions. Between Boulevards St. Michel and de l'Acadie, and again between Boulevards Roy René and du Tricentenaire, traffic moves at a crawl. Expect queues to spill onto the on-ramps. A minor bottleneck remains at exit 5 Mansfield on Autoroute Ville Marie, and resurfacing on Route 116 between St. Bruno de Monterville and Longueuil will continue through mid-October. On the transit side, the Green Line has a short signal glitch between Berry-UQAM and Papineau, adding a few minutes to trips. The Orange Line is offline for track work between Lionel Graux and Snowdon, so riders should use the bus bridge that is in place.
At Parc Jean Drapeau, Picnic Electronic keeps the summer pulse alive with non-stop electronic beats, perfect for anyone looking to dance under the sunset. Over in Brossard, Joe Cormier takes the stage at Le Club Dix 30, delivering soulful melodies that turn an intimate venue into a night of pure vocal power. His voice cuts through the night, making it a must-see for music lovers. Across town, the Montreal comedy show rolls into Deli Planet, where top comedians serve up fresh laughs that cut through the weekday grind. The lineup mixes satire and storytelling, ensuring something for every taste. And if you crave a thrill, the BACKROMS horror screening rolls out at the Foyle Gallery Drive-In, letting you enjoy a spooky film from the comfort of your car. Looking ahead, MUTEK returns to Place des Arts later this week, promising over 80 digital music and art performances that will redefine the city's cultural landscape. Stay tuned, Montreal, the night is just beginning. And now here's Jason with sports.
A quiet day on the local sports board. We will have more tomorrow.
Thanks, Jason. Good Food in Montreal, the meal kit and grocery delivery service that has become a staple of many Montreal kitchens, announced today that it has entered creditor protection, and its chief executive Selim Bassel is stepping down after less than 6 months at the helm. A sharp dip in sales and rising costs forced the company to seek a restructuring plan aimed at keeping its warehouses and delivery fleet in city. The move reverberates through food tech ecosystem, where startups look to Good Food as proof for scaling sustainable, locally sourced meals. Montrealers will feel the change in rhythm of their dinner prep, and neighborhood's vibe remains resilient. It matters because Good Food showed a Montreal idea can feed a city while keeping community at its core. Later, we'll see Montrealers march against violence after 2 women were killed, plus an update on a man from the recent brawl.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. Residents gathered in Villeray, St. Michel, Park Extension to protest violence against women after 2 recent killings in suspected intimate partner incidents. Community groups, including Maison de Haiti, joined the march. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
Protesters gathered along Rue St. Laurent in Villeray today, holding signs and candles to denounce the surge of violence against women. The march, organized by the Maison de Haiti Community Center, drew dozens of residents who walked a few blocks from the local park toward the main intersection, chanting for justice and safety. Participants referenced the recent deaths of 2 Montreal women, each killed in separate incidents that police suspect involved intimate partners. Speakers spoke of the need for support services and tighter protection measures, while families of the victims stood nearby holding photographs. The atmosphere remained solemn but resolute as the crowd moved forward, united in their demand for change. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Villeray.
A man is fighting for his life after severe upper body injuries were discovered following a brawl in downtown Montreal on Saturday night. Emergency responders rushed him to hospital. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
Police found a man lying on the sidewalk after a violent brawl erupted near a downtown intersection Saturday night. He was rushed to the hospital with multiple serious injuries to his chest and arms, and doctors say he remains in critical condition, fighting for his life. First responders arrived within minutes, securing the area and providing on-scene medical aid before transporting the victim. Paramedics worked frantically to stabilize his breathing while a fire engine ladder truck stood by, its lights flashing over the crowd. Bystanders gathered behind police tape, murmuring as the sirens faded. Officers are still canvassing the neighborhood for witnesses and reviewing surveillance footage to identify the individuals involved. No arrests have been announced at this time and the investigation is ongoing. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Montreal.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us tonight. From the striking images at the 19th Montreal World Press Photo Exhibition to the stories that shape our city, we appreciate your attention. Stay tuned tomorrow for more local news and insights. Until then, keep looking forward and stay safe.